Right, I'll go through how to set up a class, how to set the workbook up in there, and then how to access those for your students. If there's anything else that you need following that, just let me know, and I'm happy to go through things a little bit further. So let's just say that you've got the workbook here, like I've got on the screen in front of me, and we want to set that for our class. So the first thing we need to do is on Google Classroom, we need to set up a new class. So I'm going to click on Create a class here, and then give it a name, so whatever you want to call it. I usually use the code for my classes or something similar to that. So my Fit for Life group. You can fill in the rest if you want. I generally just put in the name and then click create. So that will set up my online class, which I'm going to then share with the students who I teach. So it takes a little while to create, but it will do it. So while waiting for that to load, there's two different ways that I can share this with my group. If you go to people, you can actually add teachers as well if you share the group with somebody else. You can either add the students here by typing in their email addresses. That obviously is going to take quite a bit of time. Or the way I normally do it is you can just give them this code. So I'll copy the code there, and we can put that onto wherever the class blog for them to be able to sign up. So all a student would do is they would go to Google Classroom. If I just go back to the home page, they would click the plus sign and they would join a class, and they would put that code in and click join. They will then be part of your class and they'll see any assignments that you set. So I've got my Fit for Life group, so I'm going to go into there, and to set this workbook as an assignment, I need to go to the classwork section, click on classwork, and then I'm going to create an assignment like that. And then obviously give that a title, so workbook half term 1 or whatever you want to put as that assignment. And then we just need to find that workbook in Google Drive here. So if you've had it open, it should be the most recent thing that you've done, which I've got there. Add that. And this is the important bit. This is a step that a lot of people miss, and then things start to go wrong. So you must change this from students can view the file to make a copy for each student. This means each student in your group will have a copy, it'll put their name on, and you'll be able to see that copy of their workbook, which they can fill in. So make a copy for each student and assign. And that assignment is now set. Students will be able to see it, whoever is part of your group, and you'll be able to mark it. So once that's assigned, I'll show you what this looks like for an existing class I've got. So students start doing the work. If I just go to my classes here, I'll just go into year 13 one, might be a good example. So I've done a similar thing in here where I've set an online workbook for them. So when you go into that online workbook now, you will see something similar to this. You'll have the names of all the students in your class. You'll have a link you can click on to get to their work. If you really want to, you can go into the folder on Google Drive and it'll have all of the documents in there. You don't really need to go in there. You can just click straight on them from here. So if I want to look at what Liam's done, I click on this, I get to see his online workbook. And I can see what he's done there. So if I scroll down and get to a bit where he actually has to do some work, then I can see what he's filled in there, and I can mark that. Now, I could do this in a couple of ways. I could either highlight stuff here, and then I could add a comment like that and comment on his work, or I could add private comments over here. There is a little bit more you can do than that if you really want to get into it, but to be honest with you, that's probably all you need. So I wouldn't worry about anything else for now. So just highlight stuff, add a comment, add a private comment over here. You'll probably not have to scroll along like I did to put a comment in. That's basically because I've made my workbook landscape rather than portrait. So if it's portrait, you'll see the little comment button. It'll fit on the screen and you'll not have to do any scrolling like I've just done. That's it basically. So that's how to set it up. That's how to then get to the work once the kids have started doing it. That's how to add comments. The only thing that I would advise you is the kids will see a little submit button, so they can submit their assignment to you. Tell them not to use that, because as soon as they hit the submit button, what that means is it's handed it in for you to mark. The student can no longer edit it until you then mark it and return it to them. So it's designed for basically assignments where there's a deadline and they've got to hand it in, and you don't want them to do any more work on it once they've handed it in. You probably do want the kids to keep working on these on an ongoing basis. So just remind them not to submit their assignments, and that makes it much easier. If they do submit, it's not the end of the world. You just hit return, which is that button up there would be lit up if they've submitted it, and then that sends it back to them and they can edit it again. Like I say, let us know if there's anything else. Hopefully that all makes sense.